Here we go with day 3. Here's one nifty feature of the Jeep. Check out all that slop in the steering box. Yet another thing to rebuild. I don't quite know how accurate it is, but one guy on the internet, of course, you know, it's on the internet, so it must be true, right? One guy on the internet says that you should fill that steering box not with grease, but with oil. That's because, you know, as soon as you start moving the steering, the grease will just move out of the way. Oil will refill. So I don't know about that. We'll have to go check the spec on that. I'm still having to try to decipher what all these things do here on the dash. I assume, you know, one of these is going to be turn the lights on. One of these might be this aftermarket heater that's on here that it looks like it leaks. So I bet someone tore that out because it leaked and probably contributed to the rusting out of the floor. I know one of these is the choke, one of these is the throttle. That middle one, of course, is the light, which I definitely want to get working because those are not illuminated cluster gauges here. Let's see. Two mystery holes. I have no idea what would have gone there. I don't recall seeing those in the original plans. But I have to go look at that document again. And then, of course, the aftermarket keyed ignition, which may or may not work. And, of course, the old starter button up there and the dimmer switch for the lights. You know, it never actually occurred to me to just put a camera under here. You know, we got Spider Bro hanging out. But yeah, that's that heater. And there's the coil. And there's some spaghetti. I don't know. This is only day 3 of the teardown. I at least did get the grill torn down a little bit. These buckets are going to be tough to get out. The nuts, they've never been taken off before, as best I can tell. So the nuts are rusted on pretty solid. Heck, the bezels were hard enough to get off. Like this one had a hole in the bezel, so water had gotten in. This was all rusted to hell. I was saved by my friend PB Blaster, of course. So, you know, can't speak enough positives about that. These guys might not really have ever been off. I mean, certainly someone had to change the light bulb, but nah, I definitely want to get this thing sandblasted and have these, you know, preserved because they don't look so good. These headlights might actually be good. I might just reuse these. They don't seem to be that old. But yeah, I have no idea what day 3 is going to hold here because we've done the major teardown. I tried getting this tailgate off, but the hinges, you know, probably by design, bent on this side so it won't actually come off. The other side just, you know, slides right out. So, and that brings us to another thing. This, yeah, I think someone hit this. That appears to be made of weld. And that brace is just completely off, so we're going to have to pull this thing in pieces and get that thing worked over and welded back on. And these have got to go. I tore up my good shirt, you know, the one that these sleeves came from, you know, it was just right, you know. But I ruined that shirt on this sharp edge here. So these busted tail lights were going to get replaced anyway. They're not correct. They're Jeep tail lights, but they're not correct for this vehicle. So, you know, last I checked back in 48, they didn't have reverse lights, for instance. So these are going to go. We're going to get a more period correct light on these, but man, that's finishing details. That's long term. Well, I guess I'll get started and see where this ends up. Well, the neighbor is mowing, but hopefully you can hear this. So I decided to start, loosening up these spark plugs. I've had them soaking in PB Blaster for a couple days, but I might not have needed to. I've done, 1, 2, and 3, but I haven't touched number 4 here yet, and I don't think I'll need to, really. Got a, which is a 13/16 breaker bar, and this should fight me. That ain't fighting me. Someone's been here, someone got them all loosened up, and someone didn't tighten them. I thought that I had, just too easy of a time, turning it over by hand. And now I know why. It wasn't building compression because these things were not tight, period. So, that ain't good. The only thing I got going for me was that this thing was in a barn. It had the hood closed. Heck, it had the windshield on top of the hood. So, I don't know. It's not stuck. It turns pretty freely. But now I'm concerned about the condition of the cylinders. Man, this is a hot day today. Nothing like the past couple days, but still out here working on the Jeep. That steering box, you can actually see, hey, it's a Ross. That's probably OE for this thing, but starting to become a little bit cleaner down here. Was able to knock quite a bit of the crap loose. Yeah, it's got this bright blue paint on it under all that, so I guess this was like a reman engine from way back in the day. Yeah, soon I've got to start figuring out getting the steering wheel off, and that's like 5, maybe 6 inches of, yeah. There's so much play on this thing. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on with this thing because basically I can't see everything, so I can't really know where to go next. I guess one thing, I don't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, the cylinder head was covered in all kinds of just generic, barn debris from a rat's nest or whatever. I blasted that out, soaked it in PB Blaster for a couple days. Come to find out I didn't have to because these things were very much not tight. So that explains why we can turn this motor over with almost no problem. It's because it wasn't making any compression to stop it. Maybe someone recently came along and tried to get it running. They got the spark plugs broke loose. I mean, we got a mix of Champions and Autolites in there. So actually that first one is not even the same brand. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we should have checked all that first, fired it to see if it would run, see how well it ran, and then pulled it and shipped it off to a machine shop for rebuild. I don't know what the best move on that one is, because I mean, yeah, it spins freely. I still could have done the old ATF down the cylinders, maybe jack up this end because the spark plugs are offset from the cylinder bores, but I might still do that. I don't know yet. I've watched so many other YouTube channels where they do these, old rescues that haven't been running in decades. Maybe should have paid more attention on the order of operations on a few things, but I don't know. I mean, in the end, we'll do what's got to be done. We'll get this thing working again one way or another. This is just, it's becoming a little bit more than I'd hoped as far as the work required goes. The other current question is to replace this tub or not, and I'm really still just on the fence about that. I was running the prices on parts. It's like $3,000 or so for just the replacement body tub, not counting windshield, hood, because we don't need those really, because what we've got is damaged but serviceable. But with last night's find of that thing being made of that wheel well being made of Bondo, and the passenger side rear, I don't know if I've even shown this on video yet. No, we parked it way too close to the wall to start with, but yeah, someone's riveted a patch panel on here, and I mean, as far as patch panels go, it was done pretty well, but that side's not as straight as I thought it was, but hey, it's got character, I guess. But yeah, this whole corner's got to be done. My assumption is that they had the spare tire holder on this corner. Maybe they were I know that at least two of the previous owners were hunters. They used this as a hunting Jeep. So maybe they bumped the spare on a tree or something out in the woods and it ripped it off, and that's what caused this to be required to be patched. Uh-oh. Is that where the ants are coming from? Oh man, now I gotta dig into that, because I've been trying to figure out where the ants were coming from. Yeah, there's something in here. I guess the spare tire holder is there, so at least there's that. That's something for me to dig into off camera. But I've been trying to track down where these remaining ants are. These little insurgents who just won't go away. Keep popping up everywhere. So, I don't know, but yeah, I was running the list of what things cost. It's gonna need the entire front floor. It's gonna need that support beam between the front floor and the rear floor. The rear floor is solid enough that I think we can just hammer out a few dents and dings on it, put a couple of patches on some of the minor rust holes, and it'll be okay. But yeah, and the toolbox, I mean, the lid of it's okay, but the front half of it got cut off because whenever they put in the galvanized steel floor. So I unfortunately think that toolbox, even though it's in pretty decent shape on the surface, it looks okay, but it's glued shut, so it's gonna have to go. So it's like 45% of this tub that I can see so far has got to get some work done, and I still don't know. Ooh, there might be more Bondo on this than I thought. So I could have an issue behind this paint here, and I'm still on the fence. I don't know. I'll have to chat with some people in the Jeep community and see what their thoughts are on it. But this could very well almost not be worth saving. I mean, yeah, it's the original body. I don't have any family ties or anything to this particular Jeep. If it was Grandpa's Jeep or something, then yeah, I might want to preserve as much of the metal as I can, because if I just swap the whole body out, it's not really the family member's Jeep anymore. It's something all new. I guess these are just the never-ending questions that all people ask when doing a restoration project like this. So, let's come about 8 minutes into just rambling about this project, so I think I'll go ahead and cut it there for this segment of video. It's becoming more of a blog than anything else, but I don't know. narration. It's something to listen to at least. Continuing day 3. I've been working on this guy on and off for the past 2 days. Finally got one of the headlight buckets out. The other one, I'm down to this last rusty boy here. And my solution has been this old screwdriver. I think we found it at a junkyard because someone just, left it because of the broken handle. And one of these, shout out to our Canadian friend Hand Tool Rescue, who remade these. But, well, that's not gonna work. Maybe this. Okay. Turns out, getting that square end, actually, we need to loosen that back up. Getting the square end fits perfectly on this crusty old screwdriver. And that allows me to get just the right amount of leverage. Meanwhile, I'm holding on to this ratchet stuck back here. Except the screw head is starting to give away. So I figure I'm going to spend another 10-15 minutes just trying to get that one last screw out. Then the buckets are out. I can finish disassembling those, getting the ring off the headlight and all that. But then it'll be finally done. And this grill will be completely torn down, minus that loop. I know that it's got these two flat heads holding it on, these 2 bolts back here. And this welt has got to go. It's sticking to me every time I touch it. It disintegrates a little bit, every time you bump it. I've got a lot of it taken care of already. I got to get rid of these rivets, but it's almost cleaned up. Almost ready for sandblasting. So just a little bit more work, I think, and I can finally put this thing behind me.